Hey guys, welcome back to We Need to Go Deeper. I don't have a tagline this time. I don't have a pod line this time, is what I was gonna say. But yeah, that's a good intro.
Say that right.
So my name is Green, as always, and with me is Alpaca Patrol.
That's me.
As always, a couple seconds lagging behind because of his internet. We've
internet.
also got Austin from Last Grey Wolf,
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Zen from Zen and Cyrene,
Howdy doody.
and we've also got Dennis instead of Cam.
Uh,
How's it going, Dennis?
Good afternoon.
He's from Definitely Dennis and makes less videos the more you subscribe to him, so definitely make sure to get over there. And Cam's not here this time because his power went out like an hour before the podcast started. Also, his water went out.
I wonder
So-
how long it took him to realize that. Like, if you walk to his house, like, and turn the light switch on, it's like, why does it work?
Well,
He
his
actually
story is he
called
got home
me.
from school and it was just
Yeah.
that way. Yeah.
He
he tries to turn on
apparently-
his light and he's like, oh.
Apparently, what he did is he walked in from school and then saw that nothing was working, and then immediately left and got beer.
He's like, well, I'm going to need some alcohol to deal with this situation.
That's a good way to solve any problem.
Zelda Wiz says, his water broke. Cam had a baby.
It's true.
Fed it alcohol.
That's a good pun. All right. So anyway, Dennis is here instead, and you might recognize him from the last podcast. So hopefully not too much of an adjustment there. But what is an adjustment is I'm here this time. Luckily,
Yeah,
Mhm.
jeez.
Yep. So that's a
Like,
good.
how
situation.
dare you think like you could
Slacker,
move,
Green.
like houses? Podcasts are way too important for that. Green.
Yeah, it's really important. I know.
God,
Yep.
Just like
freaking.
Speaking of which,
slacker.
if my voice is echoey a little bit, it's because the room I'm in has a lot of hard surfaces. If you know what I mean. But in all seriousness-
you were talking. You were talking about
None?
your boner, weren't you?
Yeah,
Talking
but
about
but in all-
non-Euclidean geometry?
I was not talking about that. No. But in all seriousness, I want to get some sound dampening stuff in here at some point. But until
Yeah, you
then,
gotta carpet
might be
the
a little
walls,
bit of an
man.
echoing.
Just staple
Yeah.
some carpeting to the wall. That's all you gotta do.
What I want to do, like I have this wall in behind my desk that I talk toward, and I feel like if I just get an acoustic panel that like absorbs sound and put it like mount it behind my monitor, basically, then that will basically fix the problem.
Yeah, that
Basically.
works.
Because then I'll just talk into that and it will take most of the sound away there. But anyway, that's not about video games. So Rob, as our resident news anchor, do you have any video game stuff to start us off?
I do. There are loads of things. I want to try to start with like the least interesting stuff first and move on to the better stuff later. But all this
Perfect.
stuff is kind of interesting. So here's the
so
thing.
we can't start. We have nothing to start with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it.
That's the end of the podcast.
We're gonna have to. Well, I mean, my move was kind of disinteresting, so maybe we can use that as a springboard.
We could,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be a good segue.
Yeah.
No, but Crytek's Servat Yurli was quoted in saying to IGN, this is direct quotation, "I think the notion of a single-player experience has to go away. However, I'm not saying there will be no single-player experiences. Ellipsis. It's called connected single player or online single player instead." So,
So
Yeah.
really
Also
don't-
known as always online DRM.
yeah, basically.
Like we already have a word for that.
like what? How can you phrase that any worse?
I know, right? Like
No,
this is
I
an
don't think we
insane
need
thing.
bananas anymore. So we're not going to get rid of bananas. We'll have bananas, but we'll have connected bananas.
Exactly.
We'll have apples.
Well, in fairness,
They're like
connected
bananas.
bananas would be like a bunch of bananas. Or
Yeah,
a bushel.
that's
Or whatever
fair.
it is that
That's
you
a lot
call-
better than. I like bunches of bananas
bushel?
more than always online DRM. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
bananas are a little higher up on the good scale of goodness.
Yeah, bananas
yeah,
are
I-
up there. Bananas are up there. As is single player.
Seriously, no, but like,
Yeah, I
how
single
many
player my
games
banana all
are
the time.
still like single player only and are way more successful than Crisis 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like an insane thing that's said by somebody who is kind of out of touch with the market.
Kind of.
He he's got to be thinking like, well, we got to stop piracy, and everybody's going to be on board with just, you always have to be online for every game, right? Like, what's the problem with that? If you're legitimate, why wouldn't you want to be online all the time anyway? Not
Right.
realizing there are people who do not have reliable internet connections because, every place is not a major city.
To play
And even people who are in major cities don't have
Yeah.
reliable internet.
Yeah, depending, yeah.
to play the devil's advocate, though, I'd have to say that, I mean, once everyone does have reliable internet connections, I see that being the potential future for the industry. Not that necessarily it's a good thing, because I don't think it is, but, I think he's not necessarily far off with perhaps the current industry perspective on how things should work.
Yeah. Which is
I mean,
unfortunate, though.
Yeah.
Well, my internet was bad in the past. Like, it's gotten better recently, but like even just trying to start a Steam game was annoying when my internet was iffy, and it would take like 10 minutes to start a Steam game, and it's like that's annoying in itself. I mean, if I have to be online the entirety of the game, I'm not gonna be able to play the game.
Yeah, you're just going to be kicked out of the game all the time. It's
Yeah.
an untenable business model right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of like higher ups in game companies don't really get that somehow. It's bizarre.
Mhm.
There's this disconnect between them and their customer base that should not exist.
Yeah.
Right.
It is a tad bit silly. I mean that's part of the reason why I brought it up too, is because it's just like
Yeah.
you really. So I mean the way you phrased it is has to go away. Single player experience has to go away. I mean,
yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
phrasing.
it's so like I don't even like. Yeah, totally. I understand that you get way more money off of multiplayer games. Call of Duty, Halo, good examples of that. And players play for way more hours. And if you dole out map packs, you get way better bang for your buck with multiplayer titles. But I mean, that's just. I feel like that's just ignoring games, and I guess that's not hard to assume from Crytek, which I don't feel like I want to be bashing Crytek, but I kind of am since Crysis is a goddamn tech demo, is that they see games as like, oh, there's just a bunch of working parts, there are some gears and stuff moving around in there, and things that you can spend some time on, and not accepting it as a perhaps an aesthetic and artistic experience for a user to gain from it, like say like Proteus as the other example, right? Like you can't do Proteus online, right? I mean that's not like I don't know. It's just the kind of thing that it seems like there's a disconnect between the engineers and the artists in the game industry, and unfortunately the engineers are the ones with the money,
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I will say though that like if you take his statement in a more favorable light, he could be talking about Dark Souls-like games, which if anybody's not familiar with Dark Souls, it's really cool in that it's a single-player experience unless you like get invaded by somebody, but most of the time it's just a single-player experience. But you can see little messages on the ground that are left by other people who could be telling you things that are true or false. They could be telling you to jump off a cliff and die, or they could be giving you a helpful tip, like there's an enemy around this corner, so watch out for that. And there are also, you can touch somebody else's bloodstain and see how they died and maybe learn something from that. You can see something, like you can see a ghost of somebody else at a bonfire, so you can just kind of see what somebody else is doing at that time. But it's still a very single-player experience. That's really neat, and I like Dark Souls a lot. However, I kind of doubt that what he's saying is that we need to make every game like Dark Souls. I think it's more we need to make every game make it so you have to be online all the time.
Yeah.
And that's
To
true. The
make
chat is
more
telling me it's
money.
optional on Dark Souls, and that is totally true. You don't have to be online to play Dark Souls, and that's the better way to do it for sure.
I think it's along the same lines as what I don't know if you guys heard about the Time Warner executive who said something very silly in the same light a few days ago. He basically said that people don't want high-speed internet.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He said people do not want like Google Fiber type internet. They don't need it.
In fairness,
is
it was
silly.
I'm pretty sure it was like some PR lady, and she wasn't necessarily like she was the head of like technical operations or something like that. And basically, someone questioned her on whether or not like they were going to provide gigabit speeds for to compete with Google, and her response was like, well, we're in the business of giving the people what they want, and we're under the impression that the people just don't want a gigabit internet speed right now. as if like people would be like bringing their
God
torches
damn
and
it.
pitchchforks like, no, I don't want to browse the internet instantaneously.
I miss loading screens.
I hate convenience.
My dad caught me watching porn, and if I had to load that porn, he wouldn't have caught me.
Yep.
Fuck you, Time Warner. Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's just silly though. It's the same
Yeah.
kind of thing. They either don't understand their base, or they are just stupid.
I mean,
Yeah.
in fairness, like, a gigabit internet speed is kind of ludicrous. Like, we don't necessarily
excessive.
need it right now. But that said, if you, like, because I'm on Time Warner right now, so I can speak from experience, I don't want gigabit. I will be happy with my internet connection right now. Just keep it fucking consistent. Make sure that what I'm paying for is what I'm getting, because you're not doing that, and that's basically borderline criminal. So,
And then, the other thing that's going on here is that Google will eventually come along and, through their marketing team, make people want it. So if the people at Time Warner haven't realized this, or haven't even had or are too short-sighted to forecast this in the future, well, then they're going to be left behind. That's really about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's just how
do you
progress works.
remember the first Google Fiber video that Google made? I kind of wanted it right when I saw that video.
yeah.
I mean, Google knows how to market itself. It's a little silly.
As soon
Yeah.
as I
They do
heard
it.
gigabit, I wanted it.
Yeah.
That's all they
It's
had to
like,
say to me.
With a G?
If you
Like-
saw the goddamn the screenshot of the speeds in Kansas City, it's jizzworthy. It is jizzworthy.
It's ridiculous, and it's like it's for the same price that you would pay for like a 50 megabit connection for
Yeah.
like Time Warner and Comcast. It's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. It's
Yeah.
just insane.
Mhm.
But yeah,
But that's not video
Any
games.
other-
So
yeah. I'm just trying to move on.
Yeah, it's
Here's-
tangentially related.
Well, I was actually just using that as a segue. To go into video games, Witcher 3 screenshots have been revealed,
yes.
and concept art as well.
Looks cool.
It looks bootiful. It looks seriously
Yeah.
gorgeous. I don't think like that much better looking than Witcher 2, but Witcher 2 still looks fucking amazing. So,
Yeah, exactly. Witcher 2 is still one of the greatest looking games available at
Yeah.
all.
yeah.
Beautiful
But-
game.
I mean, looking over like the huge landscapes of and the expansive wilderness. In case people don't know, Witcher 3 is going to feature an open world and not be as linear as the previous Witcher games. So, I mean, looking over that open world landscape, it looks gorgeous. I mean, it really does.
Yeah, I really can't wait. That's
Yeah.
gonna be a great game.
It
It
might
really,
be the first
it really
Witcher
is.
game I actually pick up.
Yeah, not a bad idea. I mean, they're well-crafted stories, really, more than anything else. They do a good job with that, especially since it's based on a book series. Anyway,
I didn't actually know that.
yeah,
Huh.
yep, based on a book series.
Are the books just called Witcher?
Yeah, I think they're. Yeah, I think they're actually the same name as they're Polish. So let's see.
Van the Witcher.
Yeah, by
Don't know
Oh
Polish.
man, I'm going to butcher this name. They're by Polish writer Andrzej Sapkowski.
3000.
3000. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Hold on, Dennis might be able to provide insight here. What is that? How do you say that?
Let's see. Wow.
Oh my god, those are too many consonants together. I can't handle that.
It's too much.
Andrzej Sapkowski. You got it pretty right.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
That's good.
Yep. Yeah. So
Sapkowski.
which is, I think, why that The Witcher is The Witcher is sort of the Game of Thrones of video games in my eyes, in that
Yeah, totally.
it takes like a really realistic take on sort of royalty in medieval times and stuff, with, of course,
Yeah.
fantasy elements.
Mm-hmm.
And it does a really good job with well-crafted stories and stuff. So I would totally suggest, picking up those games, especially Witcher 3. I mean, that looks gorgeous. I mean, the Red Engine 3 looks great. It looks like
Yeah.
a great time. Well, I suppose we can move on to other news. Let's see. Oh, here's one. Here's a good one. Orion Dino Beatdown. Beatdown.
Beatdown.
Yeah, Beatdown. That would be an awesome
Yeah,
name.
the Dance Dance Revolution
Oh,
spin-off of Orion Dino Beatdown.
It's got
Yeah,
an
that would
extra
be
spot for
amazing.
your tail.
But yes, they're coming out with a sequel called Orion Dino Horde, and they said that they're sorry for Orion Dino Beatdown. Now, my question is, if you're gonna go out on a limb and you're gonna say, okay, we knew Orion Dino Beatdown was really bad, why don't you just change the name of the studio and just change the name of the game? Why a sequel? Why a sequel? What's the purpose of that? Do you really want to save that franchise? Is it really worth saving? Like,
Yeah.
It's for the hardcore
Just
Dino fans. Hashtag
change-
Dino Hard.
Hashtag Dino Hard. If I was responsible for a Dino Beatdown, and I honestly thought I could do better as a studio, I would change the name of the studio and make a totally unrelated game and just hope nobody notices the same people are working on it.
yeah, exactly.
It's honestly like
all you
stabbing
gotta do.
someone and then sitting there with the knife in your hand. Like, I'm not gonna do it again. Don't worry, I won't do it again. I
Yeah, no,
promise.
I'm fine.
sorry.
I'm fine. You're being so reactionary, man.
Yeah.
Just calm down.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it has any details. I like the quotes that they have from Culture GET, the coolest game ever made. it's a good quote. So
There was a substantial following for a Rhino Dino Beatdown. There was like, yeah, I know this game sucks, but it's fucking like co-op killing dinosaurs.
yeah.
So I mean, how bad could it be?
yeah.
And that was their whole argument. And the counter argument is really fucking bad, but they didn't care. They're
Yeah.
fucking killing dinosaurs with jetpacks. They don't, it was a really cool concept for a game. It just it wasn't executed well.
It wasn't executed. It's basically really
Yeah,
you can end that
wasn't
sentence
executed.
there. Yeah,
I mean, you can shoot at dinosaurs. That
Yeah.
part of the game existed.
I guess. Yeah.
You got
Someone
guns. There were dinosaurs.
Let's go play Jurassic Park in an arcade room or something. Seriously.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Here's another news thing that kind of is similar to The Witcher 2, Witcher 3, just because foreign things that aren't American. Metro Last Light is actually coming out on May 14th, which is pretty interesting. I mean, especially
Yeah, cool,
considering
yeah.
like that the game's future was kind of up in the air for a little while when THQ went down. Pretty interesting that they're coming out so soon. In fact, and we're gonna be able to see the remnants of what THQ once was early.
Yeah.
Now, Rob, do you happen to know if this was did the author of the book, because Metro 2033 was based on a book, right? Did he come up with a new book, and that's the sequel is based on that book, or is it just they just made a sequel?
I have no idea. I honestly don't know much about the Metro Last Light lore, or the Metro lore, rather.
Yeah, because I have the book. I read the book. I had it imported, and it's really, really different from the video game, as you can imagine. It's a lot more philosophical for one thing. The Metro 2033 book, the whole idea of being in like a post-apocalyptic subway station, or a subway system, it really is a metaphor for Russia in general, which you can imagine. Because if you read the book, you find communists, Satan worshippers, all those kinds of things. Well, not to say that, that Russia right now is communist and Satan worshippers.
Well, yeah,
maybe
that's
30
all of
years ago.
Russia.
But- sorry, Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis would know all about that, actually.
Yeah, no, I can definitely confirm that. That's true.
Yes, yes.
that's only all of Russia. Yeah,
I
only
know. It's like
commoners and Satan worshippers.
sickos, Bosch, and Pentagram. That's what I'm looking forward to if I ever visit Mother Russia. Sorry. Yeah, but it's interesting to know that maybe there is another book, and they decide it was successful enough that they decided to make a sequel to it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I know literally nothing about that.
Yeah, I honestly don't know much either. I do know that they have a cult following, those games. So
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
So
Yeah, I
I'm
can
sure they
see
have a
why
market.
too. Like I have trouble getting into Metro 33, but I can see how people could like it totally. Like it has very good atmosphere for sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's a pretty game as well. It's
Yeah.
good.
It looks very nice. It is a very pretty
Yeah.
looking game for sure. Yeah. I still haven't gotten a chance to play Metro 2033 at all yet, which I do want to because I do actually own it, but I just haven't had the chance. Basically, perhaps to move on to more mainstream news than Metro. I mean, Metro's mainstream, right? Like that's AAA,
Yes.
essentially.
It's a pretty major. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a AAA game. It's
Yeah.
like the most hipster of AAA games, but it's still
Yeah.
AAA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not exactly, like, we're a grizzled space marines going to kill some space aliens. Well, I mean, since I said that, now I have to
aliens.
now I have to segue into something that is undoubtedly not very mainstream. They're coming out with a Space Hulk game, which yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, that's like from a tabletop game, right?
Yeah, it's Warhammer
Yeah.
40,000. Space
Ah,
Hulk.
okay.
And apparently it's gonna follow the traditions of the tabletop game, and it's gonna be turn based, which is really cool. It's gonna be very, very faithful to the tabletop
I'm not
rules.
gonna lie. When you said Space Hulk, I literally thought about the Hulk in space.
That would be
Like, no
amazing.
joke.
They should make that game as well. But I mean,
That's what I thought it was.
see how long the Hulk can breathe or can survive without oxygen. That would be a very
Yeah,
good
not-
game. I would
Probably not too
Well,
long. Didn't he,
it's supposed to be literally impossible for him to die, right? So
essentially, yeah.
didn't he like faint off of that like jet in the crappy version of the movie, or was it the more recent movie, the Hulk movie? He like was on a jet, and the jet went up where there's no oxygen, and he like fainted, fell.
I don't know.
I have
one
no
saw
idea.
that? Just me.
I know
never
that
mind.
the more that you beat him up, the stronger he gets. So I mean, you can't really beat him that way. I know that. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you could drown him. You probably could drown the Hulk. sure he needs oxygen.
it was a scene in one of the movies. He was on a jet, and the jet flew too high.
Yep.
But
Yep. I can see that.
we'll just never know, I guess.
Yeah. But Space Hulk has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
It's basically you play a small band of space marines in a turn-based thing, and they've actually made Space Hulk games before, and they've been reasonably successful. I mean, they made them a long time ago in like the late 90s, and I think it was pretty successful. It had a pretty good cult following. But yeah, you're exploring this like burned out ship called the Space Hulk. Or whatever, or it's like a giant ship, and that's why it's called the Space Hulk. I don't know. I actually have no idea what I'm talking about. I know like vague, like little tidbits about it, but I do like me some turn-based combat, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it
As
could
long
be
as it's
cool.
done right,
I'm
I
not
mean-
familiar with the tabletop game, but yeah,
It's pretty
I mean, it
intense.
sounds almost a little bit XCOM like. You're controlling a squad of space marines against
Right.
aliens, presumably.
Yep. Yeah. You're fighting what essentially are xenomorphs from Aliens.
Perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
they look like me?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, well.
They're
That one took me a second.
they're the Power Ranger version of Zen.
Okay, so
Get it?
everybody plays Space Hulk if you want to know what I look like.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
Oh, they're I remember Tyranids. So, someone
Yep.
in the chat mentioned that they're called Tyranids.
That's the one, Tyranids. Yep. Which
used
never
to- alright,
appeared in
for a very
Dawn of
short time.
War. I was very
I
angry
think-
about that. They did eventually.
No, I think they were in Dawn of War 2.
They
or
were,
was
yeah.
it 3? Like the new. I remember
No.
seeing. I had some friends in high school who were into the Dawn of War series, and they were talking about Tyranids for the longest time.
Yeah, they were
Uh,
in Dawn of War 2, but Dawn of War 2 blew. Like, I did not like Dawn of War 2 at all. I was not a big fan. I was not a big fan. The original Dawn of War, yeah, like the chat is pointing out, the mods you could get a Tyranid mod, which I did, and it was awesome. But yeah, they're basically the Zerg. Funny story. And speaking of that, for a segue, StarCraft is
Warp
large.
Zone!
Yeah, exactly. That's
Sorry.
where the segue voice comes from. StarCraft 2: Heart of the Swarm comes out very soon, probably before the next podcast, actually. Now that I think about it, and it's the new expansion to StarCraft 2. StarCraft, the reason that it's a segue is because StarCraft is loosely based on the Warhammer universe. In fact, everything that Chris Metzen does is loosely based on the Warhammer universe, specifically Warcraft. Yeah, so that's coming out, and they're gonna have a sale on StarCraft 2 for $20 for the Heart of the Swarm expansion release.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I might pick that up.
you should. It's a great game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I look at StarCraft, all I can think about is how bad I am at it. It makes me feel so like juvenile at video games. Like, everything just becomes slow, and I'm like, what does this button do? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now I do. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's gonna be like learning Dota all over again, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
well,
don't know, that game
in
is-
truth, you don't have to play like the competitive multiplayer because the competitive multiplayer is super competitive, and you need like super high APM, which is actions per minute.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, basically, I would have had to have been playing since I was 12.
Yeah.
If click movements in Dota counted, I would have the best APM.
Actually, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Is the funny thing, because that does count towards APM, and still, while you're doing that, you get around 150 APM. Like the best Korean players of StarCraft and StarCraft 2 had around 300 to 400 APM. So, even with click spam, doesn't match. Yeah.
How?
That's.
Well, you have
Wow.
you make. I mean, you
Oh, you have your
generally
keyboard
make,
too.
Yeah, you use your keyboard with all of the hotkeys for all the units, and also you make your own custom
Uh-huh.
hotkeys with control groups and all that. And if you imagine
Yeah.
StarCraft 1, in StarCraft 1 you can only have 12 units to a selection, and you can max out at 200 supply. So, you'd have a lot of control groups is all I'm trying to say, essentially,
Yeah.
in StarCraft 1.
I
Wow.
don't think I can even type that many letters in a minute.
Yep.
Just. Oh my god.
It's
Yeah,
intense.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's some intense shit there. And this is kind of a segue because there's an advertisement for StarCraft on the page where I'm reading this news article. Assassin's Creed 4 is coming out next year.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah.
Clearly, they put a lot of time and effort into this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll make the same the kind of joke I made before we started the podcast. I saw like a picture of it on Reddit, and I literally, because when did the other game come out? Like 4 months ago, 3
Yeah,
months ago, something
not
stupid
even.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that it was an Assassin's Creed picture, or Assassin's Creed 3 picture, and so I clicked away from it, and then I did that like double take, and I went back to it, and I was like, that's a 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't it also about? Isn't it all on boats now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Black Flag, so it's set in like the Caribbean in pirate era.
What do you even jump off of? The sail?
You climb onto crow's nests. You climb onto the crow's nest, and then like, okay, so the game is like waypoint, climb up this crow's nest, and then there's a scripted crash into another boat, and then the crow's nest like gets tangled in their sail, and then you climb off of that, and then it goes on like that, basically just giving you a waypoint every time you're supposed to climb somewhere.
Yep.
Just jump off
That's
a
my
bird.
guess.
I'm just wow. Wow.
Just, you know what? They should just put it down now. Just Assassin's Creed has become this hideous, like, the Fly Josh Goldblum monster, and he should just slowly claw the shotgun and bring it towards its face and end it now, because honestly, like, I loved Assassin's Creed. I love that series with all my heart, and it's gone now. It's gone, and it's never coming back.
Yeah, well, I feel like having played a little bit of Assassin's Creed 3, I felt like I was watching what happens when a game's writers take way too much control. Like
Yeah.
they took all of the control away from the people who would be responsible for gameplay. And we're like, no, we can't do cool things with the gameplay because we need to tell our story in the best way possible. And it's like,
Right.
well, they're trying to write a movie. And they just put it in a video game, so the gameplay just became kind of like asinine and inconsequential and boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Story
mean,
seemed neat.
Yeah,
but-
no, the story is kind of cool. I mean, to be honest with you, When I was playing Assassin's Creed 3, the only thing that kept me playing through the broken gameplay mechanics was the story. And then only when the gameplay was so broken and glitchy that I couldn't continue did I stop. That was the only time. That was the only point the reason that I stopped. Was that like doing any of the side quests is just boring and uninteresting, and the story is kind of cool. Like there's like this cool thing where it's like this Templar guy knocks up this Native American broad, and it's kind of Pocahontas but dark, and it's like it's kind of cool, and then it's just so
Box
it's
quote.
boring.
So,
Yeah.
But it's like, should I put
Back
the
to the
controller
box
down?
quote.
Am I?
Yes, Pocahontas, but dog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
Pocahontas rising.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed 4, though, the reason that I brought it up, not just to bash Assassin's Creed, was, well, actually, admittedly, to bash Assassin's Creed because of the other thing that I wanted to mention specifically about it, about how Ubisoft at their press conference said that they wanted to, engage, PC players more and engage the other console players more. It turns out there's going to be 60 minutes, quote unquote, of exclusive gameplay for the PS3 users. So that's good.
There was
Yeah.
That was on Reddit. That was the thing I was doing on Reddit, and the top comment, which had like 2,000 upvotes, which is a lot for Reddit, was like, "That's actually the time spent waiting for the game to load." Oh, burn!
Oh man, that is good.
Oh God.
That is
Yeah.
really good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad days.
It's always fun to rip on silly gaming news. Silly
Yeah.
EA, silly
Ah.
all the silly
Well,
publishers.
Yeah.
that's good that you mentioned EA, because that's another thing that we could poke fun at.
Yeah,
Okay.
microtransactions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you like character customization? No, we'll pay for it.
Yep.
Do you like guns? Do you like lots of guns? Well, we have all the guns for a low price of all of your money. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's just...
That's
Yeah.
that's essentially it. They basically EA announced that they're going to be adding microtransaction into all of its games. That's right.
Yeah.
Every single one. There's
Including the $80 deluxe editions.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's gonna be microtransactions in all of them.
Yeah.
So
It's
Uh,
just unbelievable. Like they already have this reputation of like they made Origin and they were like, we're not going to be doing Steam sale type things because that, it takes away the artistic integrity of the games, it cheapens them. That's why we're making you pay $60 for these games that are over a year old.
Yeah.
And now they're like, okay, so we've got these $60 games. That's not enough money for us. We're also going to make you pay for things within your $60 game.
yeah.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
It just...
I can't believe it. Like, I have no problem with microtransactions in free-to-play games, especially if they're done tastefully, so you get cosmetic benefits. Like, see Dota 2.
Yeah.
Every time
Exactly.
we use
Yeah.
Dota 2 because it is
Exactly.
exactly
It's a great
the
example
right...
of how to do it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good business model. You don't mess up the balance of your game by making people pay for things that make a gameplay difference. You allow them to support the game and look cool doing it by getting neat cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
And it's free.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah.
then the like polar opposite is this EA shit where they're like, you could spend 100 hours unlocking everything in this game, or you could just pay us $50 and we'll just give it all to you.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter, man.
Or give you exclusive guns that will be
Yeah.
not available to people who won't pay the extra money for it.
Yeah.
In fact, what they said, I will quote them exactly. We're building into all of our games the ability to pay for things along the way, either to get to a higher level, to buy a new character, to buy a truck, a gun, whatever it might be, and consumers are enjoying and embracing that way of the business.
Yeah.
No,
And by consumers, they mean 12-year-olds with their parents' credit cards.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Imagine if you just like, I don't know, had to go through a Zelda game or something and you got to like a new item and you open the chest and it's like, pay $5 to unlock this item.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Really quick, somebody in the chat says that Dota 2 is a loss for Valve. It's still in beta. I kind of feel like that's normal for games that are still in beta to not have made money yet.
I mean,
I
it's
have a
still
feeling
it's
when it
been
goes-
in beta for 3 years too. So
Yeah,
you have to-
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once it goes public, then I have a feeling that's going to stop being the case. But yeah, sure. Right now, granted, it's not making them a lot of money yet.
Yeah, but it will.
They make all their other money
yeah,
elsewhere.
it
that
will.
it doesn't really. They can operate that thing at a loss for a long time and not have it matter.
Yeah, I mean, part of the thing, though, in fairness to other game developers, and to play the devil's advocate, in fairness, like, Dota 2, it has a tremendous esports community around it, right? So, like, despite the fact that maybe Valve is losing money on Dota 2, as soon as they decide, which they won't, but as soon as they decide, if they ever decide to stop making heroes and release the game, they will make money for 10 more to 15 more years just on the esports community alone. That's it. That's all you
absolutely.
need. They could stop making content right now, and they would make their money 10 times over each year, based on just the esports community. Like but they're not going to do that because they obviously want to support the community, and they're going to keep doing that. Like, I mean, like I said in the last podcast, I think, or some other thing that I was talking about, StarCraft Brood War, a game that came out in 1999, is still played competitively in Korea. That's still a thing. And it gets like millions of viewers on live national TV. So, you know. And you know, in fairness, like, you know, a lot of the developers are like, well, we could just make the single player. If people want to spend money for single player games, fuck it, why not? Let's add microtransactions in. And you know what? To their point, I guess, yeah, why not? If you have the money to spend, make the developers do it, then, and people are gonna pay to look cooler in a single player game, then that's their own stupid fault for being stupid.
Yeah.
I think. But, you know, it still
Hurts others who would like that kind of customization, though. It's
Yeah.
literally character customization taken out of a game and forcing
then
you to pay for
put
it.
back in for money.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I don't like EA very much.
Yeah. I
They
don't
just
think
keep
anyone
finding
does.
new ways to make you not like them.
Yeah.
So for a long time, it's been like, oh yeah, everyone hates EA. Geez, get over it, guys. But every week, it's a new thing with EA.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they're really asking for it at this point.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of EA being a D-bag, SimCity 5 is coming out this week. And you know, that of course famously has online-only DRM, and only available on Origin as well. So that's great. And apparently, now this is the Polygon article. The Polygon article says that Max has placed a limit of 4 square kilometers on city size for performance considerations, but they are going to expand it as time goes on. So I'm not gonna cry conspiracy theory here, but I could totally see them releasing like 6 square kilometer city DLC, hooray! You know, and make people spend $10 on it, and I would be kind of sad by that. But I mean, considering their current business practice and the way that they're handling SimCity, I wouldn't be terribly surprised.
Honestly,
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it will be more subtle than that. I think what's going to happen is that they'll see, because it's all online anyway, and I imagine maybe the game will send data, although I don't know that for sure. But they'll probably see, you know, what would be a nice expensive price point for an expansion in the game using in-game currency. You know, ramp it up like 100% and say, hey, you know what? You can expand your city right now, you have this much money, or you could pay us for more money.
Right?
You know, something along those lines. Something a little more subtle than that.
I could see
Very
that.
true. Or even building models.
I'm sorry,
They
what
already
was that?
have that.
To get like
They
nice
actually-
building models, since you can't
Yeah.
mod an only online game, can you?
Yeah, they actually did
Nope.
that.
They already have that, yeah. That if you spend extra money on the digital
Wow.
deluxe edition, you get British and French building models.
Wait,
So
Yeah,
how
like
about
Big
the
Ben
modding?
and so forth.
Did they ban? I mean, did they do away with mod support for that?
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure. Yeah.
I assume so.
Yeah, I mean, if it's always online, what are you gonna mod? I honestly don't know how
Well,
that works.
No,
so-
you can mod online games.
Okay.
Yeah.
For example, DayZ is an Arma 2 mod, and that's online.
Minecraft. But yeah,
Minecraft,
but though to his point, like I wouldn't be surprised if considering EA has its grips all over this, and it looks like Will Wright is nowhere to be found on this SimCity game. I would imagine that they would not allow for mod support.
Yeah.
I
They
mean-
took it out of Battlefield, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they want to sell
Battlefield.
you map packs, and if they have the community making maps for them,
You know what's bad? Speaking of Battlefield, that's kind of like Battlefield, it took like a new stance on map packs. Like they have the map packs, but in the map packs are also a bunch of vehicles and weapons and things that literally give you advantages in the game that other people would not have if they didn't spend the money.
That's not true. I mean,
It's
they
completely
do
true.
no. Well, they give you new guns and things, but the guns are fairly well balanced in Battlefield 3, and they made a very smart decision design wise in that you unlock guns, but the best guns are all unlocked at level 1. Like the objectively best gun that all of the pro players use is a level 1 gun. So it doesn't give you an advantage, no. But there is more variety for buying the map packs for sure. I'm not going to deny that. But yeah,
I don't
as a
I don't mind
Battlefield,
buying map packs
Sorry.
at all. Yeah, sorry, we kind of went into that, try to talk
Yeah,
over each other over and over, but no, I don't mind map packs. This is when you start adding gameplay things into map packs that gets a little silly to me. I feel like those should be either free or just already in the game.
See, I kind of like it because the way they do it, and this is something that I'm known to like that I think Rob doesn't like. But the way they do it is when you get the map pack, there are special like achievement type things almost that you need to accomplish to unlock the new guns. So every time a new map pack comes out, you're trying out the new maps and also like doing different things gameplay wise to try to unlock your new weapons. Like you have to use a gun that you wouldn't usually use, or like try to kill people in a certain vehicle in a certain way. So it's interesting to me trying to do those things, and it makes the game more fun. So I like it.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't dislike it necessarily. I've just done it so many times. It just feels
yeah, you're
like
sick of it.
it feels like you know what I used because I am a purported Dragon Ball Z fan, and as a Dragon Ball Z fan, I played a lot of the PS2 fighting games, which actually weren't that bad, by the way. The thing is, like, I had to stop after, like, 3 games, because after 3 games, the only way you unlock characters is to play through their version of the story to unlock all the different characters. And I just had to stop because it's like, I have done this, like, 4 times. I don't... Why am I unlocking all these characters again? This is terrible. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what happened with me with, like, after, like, the 3rd Call of Duty, like, game that I played, I was like, I can't. Why am I going to do this again? I'm getting the same guns. These are the same ones that I got before. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, Battlefield 3 does not do prestige, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that system.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily mind it so much because I just would never be the sucker to do it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it's optional, but, you know,
Yeah, it is optional for sure.
yeah.
But yeah.
Other gaming news, League of Legends for Mac is now in open beta. Pretty interesting.
Yep.
Huh.
Next news topic.
I honestly think
interesting.
I think
I
that
wonder-
is actually pretty interesting. I mean, you're
Yeah.
opening
Yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah.
you're
I
opening
wonder-
up esports to a whole new market.
Yeah, I wonder
Yeah,
what the
you're really
overlap
not,
is
though.
between Mac owners and hardcore MOBA players.
no one's
think
gonna
there's
play
none.
like League of Legends competitively on a Mac.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't think there are any,
We'll
but
see.
I mean the option of it being available
Yeah.
to them. I don't see. Yeah, I couldn't see that as a bad thing.
No, I don't see anything wrong with it. I just think I think it's an interesting use of resources.
Yeah,
I
well, I
will
mean
say-
they have an infinite amount of money. Riot Games.
That
so
is
yes,
true.
Go on.
Yeah.
It's a small part of the mobile market, to be sure, but there are some MOBAs for iOS devices only, and I'm sure there's some very small amount of hardcore players of those.
Yeah,
You know, but-
iOS MOBAs?
Oh yes, I don't know what the names are exactly, but
Huh.
they do exist.
Interesting.
Just about every
Look at
genre
it.
exists on iOS nowadays, even
Yeah,
if they're
yeah.
crappy. So
I look at it as like a nice thing to do to put your game on Mac, but I get it. It's very minor.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
You're not gonna
especially
have
for
too
a
much
game
coming
like
out of
League
that.
of Legends, that just strikes me as like not the audience
right.
for it.
Yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
would be hard
also
to
Dota.
it'd be hard to get like a bunch of hipsters into League of Legends, but you know,
Yeah.
it's possible. Yeah, that's right. Any Mac users, you're fucking hipsters. That's,
Yeah, here we go.
I
I'll
just
put it
told
away
you.
now.
Right
Sorry,
now.
buddy. Rob's drunk again.
You with your vintage shirt and your fedora wearing ass. Yeah, I bet you're on your MacBook right now. Yeah,
Yeah,
exciting, isn't it?
I am on my MacBook.
Writing
so-
your script at the coffee shop.
I kid, of course, but not really.
Here we go.
Um,
So anyway,
yeah.
I actually have a few games to talk about as well.
All right.
I'd like to squeeze in. You guys heard of Delver's Drop?
No, never
yes.
heard of it. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Fucking cool game. It just went into like super duper pre-alpha press build, and I managed to snag a copy and play for like 15 minutes today. Really neat game. If you haven't seen it yet, check out the Kickstarter. You should Google that. And it is beautiful. It's like a physics-driven kind of Link to the Past type of thing. You know, it's top-down, Link to the Past style combat and everything. You have a sword, but there's a lot of like I'm not gonna link it. Go Google it. There's a lot of like momentum to your movement and stuff like that, and blocks that you can hit so they slide around and hit enemies and stuff. Very early build right now. The gameplay is kind of not very developed yet. It's more like a tech demo almost, like you just go through a bunch of different random rooms. But it's going to be neat. It's going to be like a randomly generated RPG, like a Zelda, but the dungeons are different every time. And it is absolutely gorgeous. It looks so good. You guys should look up screenshots. And I will have a video up on that soon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool game. Like it a lot. So
Could be
you should
pretty
check
cool.
that out.
Yeah.
It does
And-
look very cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
It looks like a potentially let's playable game, which actually is very good for indie games, by the way.
Oh yeah, Let's Play
Indeed. Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, making your
Yeah.
game let's playable, it actually has led to a lot of success for a lot of indie games.
Yeah, Slender.
Finding a bicycle.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Well done here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome, game developers. No, I mean, there's been a lot of public things with like big YouTubers being like, yeah, we made Minecraft popular. It's like, do you have to say? I mean, like, yeah, kinda, but do you have to say it out loud? I mean, come on now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's in poor taste. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Notch is in here. Says he made Minecraft.
Well, hey, how you doing, Notch? I made your game popular. Speaking of indie games, did you guys see the new iOS game called Riot?
No.
No.
Oh,
I did not.
well, I should have linked that
Right.
beforehand. Never mind. It's
Well,
basically it's a riot simulator. Essentially, is what happens, and you could play the
Okay.
part of the police or the rioters.
Ah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it seems intriguing. I think it's getting a lot of
Yeah.
news hype, news buzz because of its kind of controversial subject matter. So
Yeah. Is it like an RTS?
kinda like you're not like you're not directly controlling your units from what I've seen. The little YouTube video that kind of showed off the gameplay shows that you have a couple of actions that you can choose, right? So like there's retreat and like advance and like throw rocks and stuff, but you don't have like direct control. You're not microing your quote unquote army, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
And I have no idea what I don't know what the purpose or the goal is necessarily in the game. Other than its artistic interest, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it has a kind of sword and sorcery art style,
Yeah. Totally.
which is interesting. And an 8-bit soundtrack, which I don't know, it just seems it's just a weird choice. Like it's one of those things that like in indie games it's like, well, fuck it, we can't think of an art style, let's just make it 8-bit. And like that works for
Yeah.
most things. I don't necessarily know if it will work with this particular theme, but I don't know, maybe it will. That works in a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure they can make it work.
Yeah.
It looks fine. The screenshot I'm looking at looks pretty neat, actually.
Yeah, no, the video looks great too, and the music, the 8-bit soundtrack is great as well.
Yeah.
Like it sounds great. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that's just it's an interesting choice because I don't know if they did it for artistic reasons and more for that kind of indie game thing where it's like, we're an indie game, we gotta make it 8-bit, otherwise people won't buy it. which is actually a pretty fair point.
Well, no, I think a lot of the time it's not like people don't buy games that aren't 8-bit games, obviously,
Yeah,
but
right.
it's so much easier to make 8-bit graphics.
Yeah, it's true.
So they just kind of fall into that. If they don't want to have an art budget, if they have an idea for a game that's really neat, but they're like, we really can't, like, I can't draw, I don't want to hire somebody to draw this.
Right.
Yeah.
The easiest way to go from there is let's make it 8-bit.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
for Super Amazing Wagon Adventure, the developer said exactly as much when I asked him.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just so easy for him to iterate. All the art assets are just bits, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if you have like a great idea for a game, why waste so much time, going really in deep with the art when you could focus more on the game's mechanics?
Yeah,
itself?
exactly. Like art is great for games, but art is not like fantastic graphics are not necessary for a good game. I think we've seen many times.
Right.
Yeah, no. But I think we can also agree that 8-bit has now become some more of a theme and art style than necessarily just to be considered graphics. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it is getting a little old as well. I mean, you could there's like a happy medium where you don't have to spend a lot of time with graphics, but still have something that's nice to look at as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good 8-bit game that came out recently. It's Anodyne. I've been Let's Playing that. Beautiful, beautiful game. It's it looks just like an old Zelda game, really. It's very Zelda-like in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it like a Zelda ripoff, but maybe a little tiny bit, but it's great. It's
I mean,
so
that's
good.
okay because nobody nobody clones Zelda, and it's like, why not? What?
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
It,
it's so good.
please. I mean, adventure RPG is such a good idea because it's like there's no artificial limitations, right? There's no besides I guess the items that you get, but I mean there's no
well, you need limitations somewhere. It's not.
Yeah,
an
right,
interesting
exactly.
game,
Yeah. But I'm just saying in general, I like the adventure RPG style somewhat more than I like the min-maxy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Same.
yeah, I think more games should be in that frame. I do want to try Anodyne. It looks very, very cool.
Yeah, it just got greenlit. So you guys should check that. It's going to be coming on Steam soon. It's also on Desura now. I think it's $10. Totally worth it. So good. If you've ever liked a 2D Zelda game, you'll like Anodyne. It's great. It's such a good game. You should check it out. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's very easy to spoil a little bit. It's the sort of game where you just want to be dropped into it and not really know what's going on, I feel. So
Right.
do that. It's like Zelda. You'll like it.
Yep. Actually,
Cool.
I think my one there's kind of two news topics left, I think, that I do actually want to mention. One of which being Walking Dead Season 2 is announced. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they were planning on that from the beginning. Does it have a release date now?
It does not, but what they did is they did an interview with Rock Paper Shotgun, and they also confirmed that your save files are going to transfer over from Season 1. So all of your decisions from Season 1 are going to impact the gameplay in Season 2, which is, I mean, once they get to Season 5, if they ever get there, the kind of arching decisions that you've made in the game are going to be so monumental.
I feel like in The Walking Dead, there's a lot of, it opens up, and then it closes again. It goes in ripples, rather. So I don't feel like it's going to keep branching. I think they're just going to keep on, letting you open up a little bit and then hem it back.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, yeah,
It's a good strategy because it allows the
Yeah.
illusion of having a lot of
choice,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because they
Unlike
can't. You can't make a game that branches that much. It's
Right.
impossible.
Not with
At
today's
least
technology.
not one that's fully voiced and
exactly.
fully animated like that. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
it's impossible unless you have an infinite amount of income, which if a mainstream
And not only income,
publisher,
but just time.
yeah,
Just
right,
time.
Yeah,
It would
exactly.
take so long to do it.
yeah,
We need some kind of predictive technology that's tens of years in the future for that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. But that's gonna be great. I really liked Walking Dead Season 1. I like Walking Dead Season 1, the game, more than the TV show.
Yeah, I probably would have to agree. don't dislike the TV show, but
Me neither. But
Yeah.
the game is fantastic, and I just feel like that's unusual for something like that. You know,
Yeah.
if there's a TV show and a game both based on the same comic book. If
Yeah.
if you asked me which one is going to have a better story, I'd probably guess the TV show.
right.
But yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, I mean, I think in fairness to the Walking Dead game, at least they weren't an adaptation of the TV show being an adaptation of the comic. You know, they were both direct adaptations at least, because
Yeah,
otherwise that could have turned out badly.
Yeah.
And the one other bit that I wanted to mention was Salem. It's a game being published by Paradox, and the best way that I could describe Salem, I've known about Salem for a long time, for many, many months, and it's always looked very, very cool to me. It's kind of Don't Starve in this very, very large MMO landscape. So it's kind of multiplayer Don't Starve, and there's kind of no rules. There's permadeath. You can chop down trees and build your houses or whatever, and those are permanently in the world unless somebody burns them down or something like that. And there's no map. Essentially, you're playing. The only thing that has like a map and a set structure of rules is you start off in Boston, the colonial city, and then you can go out into the frontier and start whatever you want. So there are going to be like player-run tribes and societies and cities and towns and political hierarchies that are just going to be completely set up through emergent gameplay, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, that sounds great. So you start in Boston?
This.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like a spin-off of Assassin's Creed 3.
Exactly, yes. It actually is set in the Assassin's Creed 3 universe.
Awesome.
All the players play as Connor, it's similar to Pocahontas, but dark.
But do you skip?
That's right.
Do you skip through the landscape? Like
Yes,
Connor
of
does?
course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you prance around exactly like Connor. Yeah, and
And you
always
still
holding
can't
a
kill
box.
George Washington.
And you can never kill George Washington, unfortunately.
Damn.
But yeah.
Yeah,
No, but
that's
it
why
does look
Cam
really cool.
quit Assassin's Creed 3, by the way, if anybody doesn't know. He got to George Washington and was like, what the fuck, I can't kill him? That was it. He was done with the game.
Yep.
Done.
That was the
Oh,
end of it
man.
for him.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah,
Well,
so there's no PvP in Boston, but it's everything goes outside, which is pretty cool.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, that seems really cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool. It's like honestly more than a game, it's a sociological experiment to see.
Yeah, it sounds
like,
DayZ-like.
yeah, totally. It's the kind of thing. It's just like, hey, here's infrastructure, players, do whatever the fuck you want to do. If you set up like societies and an economy, then we will have learned that the human condition is absolute, or we won't. And we'll have, like, the first thing that I heard about it was actually in a Rock Paper Shotgun article like months ago, and he was taken through the landscape with the developer, and the developer gave them invincibility because there was this band. They walked through this player-made town, and the player-made town was like burning and on fire, and like all the people were dead there. And the developer told the player, told the guy who was interviewing him, that like, oh yeah, there's been this pack of bandits that have been going around robbing villages and stuff, and they saw them, they encountered them. These bandits had decided that they would wear no clothes and just masks, so they was just a bunch of naked men running around with spears, and they tried to kill them, the developer and the Rock Paper Shotgun guy, but they had invincibility on, luckily. So he said it was terrifying.
Cheaters.
Yeah.
Cheating. Haxes.
Yep.
Freaking
Exactly.
cool.
So,
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know. I'll have
great.
to see how big it gets and
Yeah.
how many how much you could do in the game essentially.
And
Yeah,
it is
because-
in open beta right now, so you can play it right now if you so choose.
No way. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
open beta. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what the news is. Yeah.
We gotta play that.
Yeah,
Make
definitely.
a tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta make a
Okay.
tribe.
Go form our own tribe
yeah.
of bandits
I would be
and
a
go
naked
burn
bandit.
everyone's house down.
I
Let's all be
actually,
naked bandits.
you know what? I talked about this with Dennis when I first started my YouTube channel. I was like, if I get a bunch of people to watch me, it'd be really cool for like when Salem comes out to make our own player-run like city and be like political figures in the city. That would be so cool. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
It'd be so cool. I'd be super excited. So hopefully it doesn't
I think
disappoint me.
it's
Its potential
well,
is
I mean-
very high.
You look at what happens in YouTube comments,
Yeah.
and you extrapolate that into a game like Salem. I'm not sure if they'd be making a town.
Well,
I think
it
they
is
might
permadeath.
just be killing each other.
Well, see, the thing is, it is permadeath, and you gain skills. So you can't just go around like making like really fine carpenter items right off the bat, or make all the nice stuff quickly. You have to
Of course.
improve your skill. So I think with the permadeath added as a mechanic, it kind of makes life and death much more real, and therefore much more forceful. And there's a mechanic in the game, if I do remember correctly, where if you are like I think you could be like a lawman or something like that, and then you could see the trail of where you can like track down people who have committed murders to, bring them to justice or kill them or whatever.
Huh.
So yeah.
Now, is this gonna work like DayZ, where like somebody attacks you, you shoot them back, kill them, and now you're a bandit?
I have
Because that
no
shit was
idea.
stupid.
Yeah, I don't.
That was
I don't
so
know.
dumb.
They removed that from DayZ, by the way. But
They did, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I don't know.
But in the
I have no
past,
idea.
like it sounds like they were experimenting with the exact same mechanic that they are not now experimenting with in Salem, where it's like, what if we made it so if you kill people, you're marked as evil?
right.
And the
yeah.
answer is a bunch of stupid stuff because a bunch of innocent people are going to be marked evil.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how it works. But yeah, I think there is just some way to know if a person's killed people or something like that. But I suppose that's probably something that's, it may be assumed after a point in playing the game.
Yeah, that you just killed
survive.
people.
Yeah, right,
That's how
yeah.
it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because even if you're a pacifist, if people attack you, what are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. But and what's really cool is that there's no map. So you're gonna see a lot of I think player-made maps, on the internet to try to, or in player-made maps. Maybe that could be it would be so cool if you could add text files or not text files, but image files and upload them to the game and then send them to other people to be like, this is where my town is. Come join us. And then you can make a Woodbury in Walking Dead. They just need to add zombies is what I'm trying to get at here. Is add zombies to this game and then we will
come
be cool.
on.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I'm kidding. But I mean, still, you could make a player-run town and player-made maps, and it'll be cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, that would be neat. Yeah.
It looks like garbage, though. I will say that. Graphically,
Yeah.
it looks disgusting.
Oh, man. When
Yeah.
Rob showed me a screenshot of this, I just started laughing.
Yeah.
It is a hilarious-looking game.
Yeah, it's graphically terrible, but it is very deep mechanically, so I think that's why. I think that's one of those things, as a segue to that last point, is that, you can focus on art or you can focus on gameplay. They obviously chose the gameplay, hopefully,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Which is fine by me. Yeah, if
Yeah.
it's a fun game, I don't really care what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
As a rule.
Yep, totally.
So, do we want to get to the point where we start having people ask
I
questions?
think so, yeah.
Or,
Yeah, we should do that.
all right. Our question collector Cam is not.
Question collector Cam.
Well,
Present
we
today,
could
so
use
this-
his replacement as the question collector. Dennis, would you like
Yeah,
to
Dennis,
collect
are you
questions?
still alive?
Dennis.
No,
Um,
Dennis,
evidently
do you have your
not.
microphone muted?
Still muted. I'm still muted.
Yeah.
I'm still muted. Yeah, I was
Oh,
muted for a
God.
while, and I thought I unmuted, and then I had nothing to say. But it turns out I was just muted for most of the podcast. But to be honest, I had very little to add.
Yeah. You know what's
Fair
going to be good is editing your audio.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be perfect. There's no audio.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But for the tiny little bit where you're talking over us and then not realizing that your mic is muted so we don't respond to you.
Yeah,
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
Green. More rainbows on the screen right now.
yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. But yeah, so Dennis, collect questions from the chat for the lightning round. All right.
Okay.
You can if you want to just copy paste them in a text file
Oh,
or something.
okay. I'm
like that.
trying. Everybody's putting stuff in the chat now really fast. Wait, hold on. Okay,
Yeah,
I got
you don't
it.
have to
Doing
get
it.
all
Yeah.
of them. Just maybe relevant ones.
Yeah,
and things that you
some
think that are
interesting
good.
ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be
but,
looking as well.
In order to continue along while questions are being taken, one more small piece of news, even though this news kind of both makes me happy and sad at the same time. Starbound just released its first newsletter, which is something they just started doing, where every month they're going to send out a newspaper style page where they talk about the game and features in the game that they're working on.
okay.
And I'll go ahead and link the first issue in the chat, actually, so people can look at it. But it's cool. They talk about armor and they talk about the music and the lore of the game, and it's cool. But it still makes everyone think that the game is just never going to come out because, I mean, the game was supposed to come out a year ago, and we're just now getting the newsletter about how the game is coming along. So you can see how that adds up to make you feel like we still got a long way to go before the game comes out.
Yeah.
But it's also funny at the bottom. There's a little comic, and they even take a jab at the fans who really want the game to come out in the comic. It's like, well, thanks, guys. Kick us while we're down. But yeah, it cool. At least we're getting information about the game now.
I have some semi-interesting news while I'm here copy-pasting at lightning speeds. I was just gonna say that Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, is going free-to-play multiplayer. Which I think is a really good thing. I think if a lot of games, I don't mind that it's $60 when it comes out, but if you go free-to-play eventually, I think that's really cool. You know, I think that's something where you're really just saying, you know what, the game is paid for itself, we've made some money off of it, now everyone who couldn't afford it can enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a nice gesture for sure.
Yeah,
and probably good advertising for their future games as well.
Totally.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Other than that, Xbox 360, or one of the developers for Xbox 360 has stated that it's going to be always online, and the discs are going to be watermarked to only work with one console.
God.
This is the new Xbox?
Yes, this is the 720. This is news leaked about the 720.
This is confirmed stuff or leaked stuff?
Here, I will tell you, it is Eidos, E-I-D-O-S co-founder Ian Livingston's spilled the beans that Xbox 720,
what
Durango.
What website are you reading this off of?
This is on Mega Games.
Okay. Eidos, yeah. I mean, Eidos is the guys who did Hitman and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've had a history of saying some shit, though.
Have they? I mean, this is I don't know. This is just from them. This is all I know about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, look, I mentioned it in PS4 when we were talking about that last week. I'm not that surprised if that is in fact the truth. I really are. I'm not that surprised.
If they do that, like that's gotta be suicide. I can't convince myself that people are that stupid that they'll be okay with that, with paying so much for a console.
Why even have discs then?
Yeah, right. Why have discs?
Well, that's what he said at the end. He says, you know, now obviously, you know, kind of the future is always
digital
online
downloads.
and kind of
Yeah.
digital.
We talked about this last
downloads,
podcast.
exactly.
I mean, yeah, that's the future, but that's the future.
Yeah.
We are not.
Yeah,
in
the
that
infrastructure
yet.
needs to happen first.
Very
Yeah.
true. Very, very
Well,
true.
well. Then again, like to play the devil's advocate, the infrastructure is on its way. It's almost there. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Obama recently mentioned that he was going to cut off a part of radio frequencies to use for.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, he was going to take away.
Rob just cut out. That's
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think what he was gonna say is they're gonna devote a part of radio frequency for government sponsored Wi-Fi nationwide.
That sounds really cool.
Am I back?
Yeah, so that sounds
Yeah,
really
we
interesting.
And also,
Just lay the fiber optic lines and get it over with. Just do it.
Yeah. Also, how the fuck does that work? I feel I might not know very much about radio waves, but I feel like that's not how radio waves work.
I
feel like that's just static broadcasting.
Right, I don't know. I don't know. I know that the government or the Navy and stuff has
Yeah,
reserved frequency.
but
only they can
that's for
use.
communication.
Right. So
You know,
I honestly,
Am I
way
back?
over my head. Yes,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
back.
Yes,
Just
you're
got
back.
back.
Okay. Yes.
Dennis finished your talkingness, so.
Yes. Yeah. So he's gonna cut off some of the radio frequencies, use them for Wi-Fi instead, which is pretty cool.
But Rena was just saying how he doesn't understand how that would work.
Yeah. I'm not
either.
sure how you send requests to a radio frequency, but who knows? I feel like that's going to take a lot of towers, I guess, is what I'm saying.
No. It's the infrastructure for the towers are already there. You already have the radio.
I guess so, yeah.
Towers. They did it. They did it for baby monitors, and public frequencies. Not too long ago, like in the 80s, they cut off a bunch of radio frequencies, and allowed them to be used for like baby monitors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So as those became more popular. And so it's been done before. I don't know the logistics of it, but
Yeah. Well,
But-
baby monitors are not like that's still passive communication. Like I'm not familiar with using a radio frequency as like getting internet out of it. It seems like a strange thing to attempt to do. I
yeah,
didn't really know that radio waves were suited for carrying internet, but I don't know, man.
yeah. I don't
I don't know how this
logistics either,
newfangled
but yeah,
internet thing works, but if it works, that's cool. I'm looking forward to it. I wonder how
Yeah.
fast it's going to be. So,
probably
just,
not that fast, I would imagine.
no.
I was just thinking, Dennis, do you want to post the questions that you're getting like in Skype? Because I'm sure we were going to get repeat questions. I think it'd be faster if we.
Yeah,
and-
I got a lot so far.
Yeah, and we don't have to go through all of them because that
Yeah,
would
yeah,
take
yeah. I mean,
additional
I don't.
hour.
I'm
Yeah.
just copy pasting them. So how do you guys want to do this? You want me to just put it all in the Skype?
Yeah, might as well. I mean, couldn't
Yeah, I
hurt.
think that would.
Yeah, I think that would be
Yeah.
the best thing, and then you guys can kind of
Because
decide.
I looked and I saw like 2 or 3 repeats right off the bat. So
Yeah, there were. There's a lot of questions. Now, since we
Oh
did
my
rag
God.
on the PlayStation 4 and on Diablo 3 last time, there is some good news, which is actually kind of relieving with all this bad news from all these game companies coming out. And it's the fact that you will be able to play Diablo 3 offline on the PlayStation, and you'll be able to play it with friends in co-op sitting next to you with controllers.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's pretty
which is
cool.
which is I think is pretty reasonable, and the only way Diablo's ever gonna kind of make an impression on consoles, I think.
Yeah, that
Absolutely,
actually
yeah.
really.
All-
I would play that.
There's
probably.
also no
If the game
auction
was
house
good.
either, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That also makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Yeah, that auction house has caused them nothing but problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
supposed to be like the greatest way to monetize like people grinding in video games, basically.
Yeah.
Because they could just they basically just take a cut of money every time somebody exchanges an item in the economy.
Yeah.
Right,
That's,
exactly.
Yeah.
I
Mishandled.
still don't like. In theory, I still think the real money auction house is a good idea, but
Yeah, you
And
just
I
have
don't-
to do it not
Yeah.
stupidly.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
well,
I
they
think
got
if
into
they
legal
wanted to
trouble,
do
too.
something, sorry, I think if they wanted to do something good, they would make it transaction free. Like I think that they wouldn't charge a fee for it. If they really wanted to provide kind of a safe place for people to trade, they would have done that and kind of sunk the cost there and said, you know what, you pay $60 for the game, you can trade on the auction house for free. Then everybody has a safe place to trade. But if you're taking a cut, I mean, there's no way it's costing you that much to kind of host an auction house, you know?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
true. Yeah, but I mean, still, the cut was what, like 5%, 10%, maybe.
Yeah,
I think
No,
it was
like
10%.
Yeah, 10%.
No, I thought it was a flat fee actually.
Is it?
Was
I
it?
don't know.
That would be
I
that would
don't
be
know
kind of
because
fucked
I've
up if
never-
it was a flat fee. I would be kind of
Yeah.
upset by that. Yeah, I would never do it then if it was a flat fee. That sucks. I mean, I never did it, but I also would never do it. Yeah, because I mean, the thing about it, right, is that I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea inherently because people are going to be, trading gold anyway, right? Like they're going to be doing it through third-party systems anyway. So why not make it part of the game? I don't see a problem with that,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a huge problem on World of Warcraft, gold selling and buying.
Yeah, right. Exactly. If they
Yeah,
integrated
any
that
MMO
into the
has that.
gameplay, if they integrated that into the gameplay, I don't see why that's a bad thing.
Yeah, look at
People are going to be doing a new. Yeah, right. Exactly. Totally. Yeah. Actually, speaking of Eve, this is a little tidbit of news that that didn't get through to the news section that I can kind of just quickly gloss over. Eve still supports 500,000 subscribers, which is pretty crazy.
It's a
Yeah.
huge game.
Yeah.
Huge
Yeah.
game, man. It's just difficult to play. It really is. That's like the one game you gotta play, you know?
Yeah, but with
Like
such
if you're
a
playing
niche
Eve,
game,
that's all you play. Yeah.
a 500,000 people on a niche game that's like 10 years old, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really.
for sure.
Pretty
It's a
impressive.
success story for spreadsheet games.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, do we want to move on to the questions?
Yes,
then now?
please.
do
Small
it.
small children in sweatshops farming gold. Yep.
What it is.
I kind of like the typo edition of that sentence that the chat guy said, which is small children in seat shops farming gold. That sounds so much nicer.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, just a bunch of computer chairs everywhere.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah,
But where would they be farming the gold from? Like that would kind of make me feel like there was gold under the ground of the store in the seat shop.
well, it's on a gold planet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right. Yeah, you have to read between the lines. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot about that. Yeah, definitely. Questions?
When you die in Salem, do you just make a new character, or is the game just unusable after you die? I'm pretty sure you can just make a new character.
Yeah, that would be.
I don't think they want you to not play their game.
That'd be a
That's a
terrible
really
game
good
mechanic.
way. That's a great way to really make sure you don't have an audience.
Imagine like Super Meat Boy,
Yeah,
and you die, the game just turns off and deletes off your
yeah,
computer.
you have to buy it again.
Future of gaming. We will see it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Imagine like it goes live, and in the first half an hour, there's a ton of concurrent players, and then immediately it drops off, and just this asymptotal curve down to zero.
There's like this huge melee that got like the Eve fight that happened.
Yeah.
a while
Well,
back.
it'd be like that
one guy
Japanese
just like
movie,
smacks someone.
like Battle Royale.
yeah.
Yeah, there'd just be one guy standing on top of a mound of corpses, still logged in.
Suddenly just turns
Like, I
into
won.
Dynasty Warriors.
And then he drops his glasses. He's like, "No, I had time now."
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Right. We already answered that one multiple times. Favorite song for the moment? Anyone got a favorite song?
Favorite song?
I personally like "Foreplay / Long Time" by Boston. That is my favorite song for sure.
I don't know.
You should
I
go
really
for
like the one with Taylor Swift and the goat.
Oh God.
That was good.
it.
Yeah.
I think anything with goats is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll go link it in the chat so that people can know exactly what you're talking about there. It's a new meme.
Yeah.
Harlem Shake All Night, baby. I'm kidding, obviously. Yeah. But I am one of the I do like Harlem Shake videos. I will say that. I don't know about favorite song right now.
See the?
I don't like the song. What?
Did you see the Miami Heat Harlem Shake video?
I did not. That's kind of funny though.
It's pretty funny.
So that video, let me tell you, now that it's out in the open, if somebody can find me a video clip of Cam screaming into a webcam, I will splice that in. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Zen told me that earlier. I just laughed my ass off. That's such a good idea.
That would be pretty good. Yeah, that would be pretty damn good.
Yeah, and I told him I'm sure Cam, for that cause, would just scream into his webcam. I don't think we need to go search it out.
Yeah, that wouldn't be rough.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you all had to get a new username, what would they be?
Wow. I honestly don't know. I've used this sort of username for almost everything, so
I've
never thought of it.
I would take PewDiePie.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't think of that one. I don't know.
Somebody in the chat asked, "How do you give them questions?" You just did.
Question answered, sir.
That was your one question.
served.
We're like genies. You can only ask one.
Yep, that's not how genies work. You get 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you?
I'll just probably go
do.
Zen something. I don't know. I have no imagination.
I don't know either. It's the sad thing.
I-
For the same reason.
I know one for Dennis because someone mentioned it recently, which is indubitably Dennis. It's way better. Way better than definitely Dennis.
Yeah.
I wish I had thought of that. Indubitably Dennis. That's the British version of Dennis. If we ever find a British Dennis and we want to make him a YouTube star, he shall make Indubitably Dennis.
I think Greens needs to be a mainstream game hater with like an 8. Spell it like that.
Or perhaps Red.
Yeah, maybe just hipster with like a 1 and a 3.
I think
And
I
like
think
3 or 4 hashtags.
I want to be Llama Guard.
Oh God, we're done here. That's it. That's all.
Kate would be happy about that for sure.
She would, yes. Large Twitter conflicts over what's better, llamas or alpacas. I'll say it here first. Alpacas are obviously better. Duh. Come on now.
Have you ever seen them try to eat an apple?
It's hilarious. The best thing on the internet.
Yeah.
Dennis, does it make dollars?
Yes.
All right, moving
Good.
on.
Do you want to be a dinosaur?
Yes.
All
I
right.
don't think anyone would say no to that one, actually.
That'd be pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Then you could play that Dino Beat game or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you would get shot by a bunch of people who probably are like lag glitching around everywhere and teleporting.
Yeah.
Be no
I
fun.
was wondering where you were going with that one.
You'll be a T-Rex and just like accidentally shove your head into a truck and it'll be stuck there and they'll just like wail
I
on
would-
your head.
I was actually talking about the dancing one that Zen mentioned. Did that
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the
there
dino
you go.
dancing.
I was about
yeah.
to say I'm gonna leave. Oh man, what's your favorite N64 game?
That's tough.
Majora's Mask, probably.
Never
for me.
played any.
Tough.
What?
Oh, Zen.
I've never had an
God.
N64. Wait, no, I did play Super Mario 64 on the Virtual Console, so yeah, that counts, I guess.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah.
Dude, you missed out on like a vital part of my gaming life. Like
Vital
seriously.
information for your everyday life.
That was so much of my life was N64. It'd be hard for me to say.
Mine too,
there are a
yeah.
lot of great games. But
Yeah.
Or a lot of good
probably Ocarina of Time, I'd say.
Yeah,
Probably.
for me, either Star Fox or Banjo Kazooie. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Banjo.
I was
really
gonna
good.
There's so many.
I was gonna say Star Fox
All the
too.
good games.
Star Fox was great. I mean,
Yeah.
like the amount of hours I poured into Star Fox is almost equivalent to the amount of hours I poured into Ocarina of Time, perhaps more,
Yeah.
actually. So
A lot of people are saying Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap
Pokemon
was
Snap's
that
a great
shit.
game. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that game. Yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna say Pokemon Stadium is my answer.
That was fun.
Put a
Stadium,
lot.
yeah.
Oh, and Super Smash Brothers.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I played a lot of
God.
Super Smash Brothers.
I
Man,
never
the
owned
N64.
Super Smash Brothers for the N64. It's very sad.
It's actually really funny to play Super Smash Brothers on an emulator now, because it runs so much faster on an emulator than it does on the N64. Like, it's funny because like you thought that there was a certain speed that they were going for on the N64 when you were playing it. Turns out the game was just running at 15 frames per second.
Right.
And it's really, it plays totally differently on an emulator, which is really funny.
No.
Someone mentioned the Donkey Kong 64 rap intro. That was the best thing ever.
That was the shit.
I might know all the lyrics, so there's a thing.
Okay. Donkey Kong. Yeah, it was a great song.
It's true.
Conker's Bad Fur Day was great too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great system. I mean, that's up there. Like, that's like next to that's up there at best systems ever with like the Super Nintendo, the PS2. That's an interesting question that wasn't asked. What do you guys think the best console has been?
The
In the
best
history of
In terms
console,
of games,
huh.
or like the most use out of most games, or things like that.
I don't know. I guess you would define it.
Yeah. For the time the consoles came out, I think N64 was the best one.
Yeah, I would think I would
Like-
have that, and then GameCube.
It was the
second.
best in that
N64
cycle.
was
Yeah.
was the most clearly best console existing at the time.
Yeah.
It was
most clearly
Yeah,
best.
it was just
2013.
there was nothing. There was nothing when the N64 was out where you could say, "Well, this is better," you know.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah.
It was
Definitely.
so good.
It's just great. Who is the dino hardest? I'm gonna have to say Zen, or I might die.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I'm going to say Cam because he's not around.
He probably is hard right now. I bet he's jacking off. What else is he gonna do? His power's out.
You know, I didn't
Yeah.
put that fine of a point to it, but sure.
You had to go there, Green G's.
What
is?
your opinion on the newest Gears of War game?
None.
I haven't seen anything about it, but I mean, I'm a fan of Gears of War, so I've played all the games.
Cliff Blazinski's not attached anymore, so it's gonna be
then I
shit.
probably will hate it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
sorry.
shit. That's what's gonna happen.
No Blazinski.
Yeah. That's like saying you're gonna make an Indiana Jones movie and not put Steven Spielberg at the helm. I of course exclude Crystal Skulls.
I just realized we completely forgot to talk about Mugenics in our news
Oh yeah! What the hell?
What are we doing?
section. God, Rob,
God
you had
damn it.
one job.
Yeah, I even intended to bring that up. Totally slipped my mind. Mugenics got announced. Ed announced it in the form of a small story, and it sounds awesome. He was
Yes.
talking about how, like, when he was playing it, he had this cat that had a forked tail that won a pageant. He was like, okay, I gotta get another kitten in the next cycle that has that forked tail. So he tried to breed it with another cat, and that cat was not good enough for her, so she beat the shit out of him. And he was trying to eat when she did that, so then he associated food with being beaten and starved himself to death because he was afraid of food. And then another cat had sex with her and gave her kitten AIDS, and then the pet control came and made him stop, and that was the end of his game.
I am so playing that. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
So the
it's
number
gonna be awesome.
number of mechanics that story implies is so cool. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's he described it as like Animal Crossing plus Pokemon plus what? One
The
more
Sims. The Sims.
The Sims. Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
We'll see if we get the same amount of play out of it as Isaac. I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, it's all randomly generated stuff, so I mean that seems pretty cool.
And stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, if it has the stuff.
Yep.
I don't know. When like the first time, like when he said Animal Crossing plus Sims plus Pokemon, I immediately was like, huh? I wasn't immediately like into it, but the more I read about it, I think I'm on board for sure. Then
Yeah,
It
I
sounds,
mean,
it sounds
didn't-
awesome.
you have to also remember that this is the first team meet game since Super Meat Boy. This is Tommy
Yeah.
and Edmund back together, and nothing against Florian because he did a great job with Isaac, but Tommy brings. I mean, them working together makes for beautiful lovemaking in video
Yeah.
game form, and
then Kitty AIDS.
Yeah,
Tommy is
Kitten is.
absurd.
yeah, he is such a
Tommy is
perfectionist.
Yeah. He's an artist with like controls and systems and programming. He's so good at it.
Yeah. So, it's at least going to be more polished than Isaac, which some could argue is not the most polished of games.
No,
You
it
know?
definitely is not.
Yeah,
Well,
not at all.
it's because it's written in Flash mostly, I think.
Yeah.
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 Is there like a release date set for Mugen, or like general release area set for Mugen?
Yeah, they said
I
they're
don't
working
think
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think they're
One of
going to
those
continue
games, huh?
with like weekly updates. I think he said
Yep.
little
Yeah, I mean, they also,
teasers
like,
and so forth.
this still is not their secret project, by the way. So, like,
What?
this is not their, like, they were working on Meat Boy
Oh
iOS.
no, yeah,
Something else and Mugenics. Like Tommy had been
Yep.
working since Super Meat Boy on a new engine for this new game idea that they had. And keep in mind,
Yeah.
Super Meat Boy came out 3 years ago?
Yeah, a long
So
time ago.
yeah, he's been working on this engine for years for this new secret game. And then like Mugenics is kind of their side project, sort of like Binding of Isaac was in between their projects and stuff. So I'm still excited to see what that is. And Meat Boy iOS, that sounds cool. I mean that would be cool. I don't know what that's gonna be about. They haven't released anything about that. Is it gonna be like a one button thing, like kind of the Rayman Legends? Like that'd be cool. I don't know, man.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Yeah,
Can't believe we forgot to talk about that.
yeah, pretty ridiculous. Yeah.
I was actually I asked the question. I was like, we already talked about. Wait, we didn't talk about that.
Which game
so,
release are you
I guess
looking
I'll-
forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to Paranautical Activity getting more fleshed out and becoming a full game. That game is
Is that the
awesome.
first-person
Yeah,
roguelike?
yeah,
that
it's
you were
like
playing?
Doom plus Isaac, basically.
Yeah, looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the update just came out for that. I was playing it a little bit today. They made the game way harder.
Oh,
So I need to.
actually, speaking of updates, Super House of Dead Ninjas just got an update for controller support.
Yeah, which is great.
Yep.
If you were for whatever reason playing it without Joy to Key, Rob, then now you have no excuse.
Ahem,
It is way better
Northern
with a
Lion as
controller.
well, so it's not just me.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still totally playable with mouse and keyboard. It's just
Yeah,
not
totally.
advised. I was way better at the game when I was using the controller.
Yeah.
like
It just
100
feels
times
better.
Yeah, it's designed for that. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
there are some games that are mouse and keyboard should be used, like a first-person shooter, and there are other games like a platformer that should use a joystick. Oh, I mean, not a joystick, obviously, a D-pad, but I mean, you know what I mean, a controller.
Something. A controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta play with your thumbs with some games and your fingers with the other games so that, the difference is there for your
Yeah.
dexterity and all that.
Though, to be fair, I think the association with joypads and platformers is strictly because we grew up, on me on the Genesis, you on the Super Nintendo, playing platformers with controllers.
Totally.
So now we can't go back.
Yeah.
I could see being used to using the keyboard for platform, because some people in the chat are saying, I like using the keyboard. Yeah, totally acceptable. But for me, at least, as somebody who played platformers with a controller all my life, I like it a lot better with a controller.
Yeah.
It's comfy.
Yeah. I think you could probably argue that the mouse and keyboard would be inferior in that, like, I don't know, perhaps it's easier because of the No, in platformers because it's easier for the thumb, like for instance Mario. You know how you have to kind of always hold the run button in Mario? That's just kind of a rule. I think it's probably easier to hold the run button and jump at the same time as well with your thumb, perhaps than perhaps your index and pointer fingers. It
But
could
with
be argued.
Mario,
I don't
you
know.
have to use your thumb to do both buttons. On the keyboard, you have two separate fingers responsible for them.
Right, yeah,
Like, I
but
can't
the thing
even
is,
see
like,
the argument there.
well,
Like, if there was an
because
argument
it's
to be made,
easier
it would
to-
be in favor of the keyboard.
Well, no, I
Because,
think it's
because
less
you get
actions.
more fingers to do the same thing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
So-
saying. That could be argued as perhaps the downside because it's less actions that you have to do to perform the same result in the game.
What?
Because you use the same finger. Like if you're holding an Xbox controller right now and you're holding, say, the X button is the run button, then you can easily press the A button to jump whenever you want and keep your finger on the X button. Whereas
Yeah,
you would
but
have
not
to
as precisely-
coordinate
never
the dexterity of like two fingers. I'm not arguing it necessarily, but I think
Right.
it can be argued. That
Yeah,
way.
I think it could be argued incorrectly.
Fair enough.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
What do
God,
you think about the?
Dennis, did you just like Control F question mark and copy everything that was a question mark in it? Is your mic
Nope.
muted?
Okay, yes it is. Yes, it is. I'm a pro at this, obviously.
Why are you even in
Let
the
me check, is
podcast?
Audacity on? Let me just make sure, because... Yes, Audacity is on, so not all is lost.
Oh
Right.
man.
You're gonna have a lot of fun, Green. I'm sorry.
No,
Why are you muting your microphone out of curiosity?
Cause, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just,
I don't know. Green looked at me funny one day. I wanted to give him something to think about.
yeah, I don't know. I was gonna ask a question earlier. How come they don't make games for joysticks anymore? How come they don't make joysticks anymore? Yeah, I guess because
Oh,
they
you
don't make
mean
games
like
for
a-
joysticks. I answered my own question. All right, well,
Dennis just walks in, asks the question, answers it, and he's gone.
yep.
that's just how he rolls, man.
Fucking YOLO
What
on
makes
that
me
one.
so sexy? Everything. I'll see you guys later.
No, but in all seriousness, what do you mean they don't make games for joysticks?
I think he
anymore?
means like like the fight cabinet thing joysticks.
Ah,
Yeah, I mean, like, no, not even a fight cabinet joystick. You guys remember they used to make those joysticks for the flight simulators? They had a bunch
Yeah.
of buttons on the side
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Like, they don't make that stuff anymore, you know?
I think they
Although,
do. I think they
They
make
still
the same
have 'em,
number.
yeah.
Like those were never super common, were they?
no, they weren't. I used to
No.
own one. That's why I thought of it.
Oh, really?
But
Yeah.
I've never used it, ever.
Well, in fairness, yeah,
Train simulator.
those kind of simulators have kind of gone out of style where they used to be actually a lot more prevalent, like flight sims and stuff. Like there used to be a lot more of that, and that kind of has gone completely niche, where it was
Yeah.
only slightly niche.
yeah,
yeah,
makes sense.
so-
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't know.
I think consoles killed it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's also true.
They just like consoles sort of draw things into this place where everything needs to play on a gamepad. So games of that sort of evolved into things that are played with a joypad, and then the joystick kind of just fell by the wayside because nobody made games for it anymore. And there it goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Consoles killed the joystick star. Yep.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Although joystick, I mean, the gamepad actually does a pretty decent job at that kind of thing. In my personal opinion, I think it doesn't do a bad job at all. There used to be a game on PS2 called Robotech Battlecry. Fun ass game, man. It's a really cool game. Did you guys ever play it?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
It was actually really fun. It was like you played as this like fighter jet that could also turn into a robot, and then could also turn into another kind of shittier version of that robot. It was cool.
That third one seems vital to the game.
Yeah, that sounds great. I would play as that all the time.
It was weird. That was the only way that I could describe it. Like, if I could show you the Robotech transformations.
God, I just wish I could turn into a shittier robot.
Yeah. Like, one of them is just this giant robot, and the other one is, like, that robot, but, like, walking on his knees, and, like, his feet are just folded in, so he's, like, a foot shorter.
Yeah,
and his arms are all, like,
one.
opened.
Yeah, this is the other one. You kind of perfectly described it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
we should definitely put this in the
I
chat.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of thing like it's like you can imagine a fighter jet and a robot, right? So like they have those two sides, and then they have this one where it's just kind of like, I was gonna transform, but I thought, stay around here.
I'll just keep the plane on my head.
Yeah, right.
They'll never suspect a thing.
Day 46.
Don't worry, boys. Just a normal fighter jet here. Nothing to see.
Oh, I'll tell you. I've watched all of this when I was a kid. This was the big thing when I was a kid living in Malaysia. And you know
really,
what?
Robotech?
I don't think any one of you are going to watch this, but if you're going to watch this, spoilers starting from now. At the end of the first season at the end of Macross, or the first season of Robotech, they defeat the animals by singing the aliens by singing about love.
Yep.
Wow,
I
good.
actually have seen that. I because I liked the game. My mom bought me the DVD box set of Robotech. Yeah. And I did see that. Yeah, and also, doesn't their Song of Love also make all of the giant people into small regular people?
Oh no, they actually still have to go through the process, whatever that is, to become small.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, animes, man, they're weird.
Yeah,
they're
they can
weird.
Oh, I can go on and on about weird animes, but the podcast is already starting to get long.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ask
I
me
could
a
talk
question
about
next
some weird
time, guys.
animes.
Remember next time. Remember to ask me about animes.
All right, we'll mark
Or
that
not,
one
you
down.
don't.
You should make a Q&A video about that.
I did, actually.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Oh,
Perfect.
Actually, here's a question that I wanted to answer or talk about anyway. Pokemon Stadium 3 for the Wii U. I highly doubt that they're ever going to make a Pokemon Stadium game that is anything like the Pokemon Stadium games of our childhood. Because
those mini games, man.
yeah, because like the thing is, like they made like Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD and Pokemon Battle Revolution, but they made those all in order to sell copies of the DS and GBA versions, because you couldn't play with rental Pokemon like in Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. And I think they've showed their hand on that. They're never going to make that. Even though I would love them to, because Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 was awesome. Especially the mini games were cool too. Like the one where
I really like the
Scyther
mini-games.
cuts the logs. Like that was so badass.
Yeah,
I love
timing
that.
games.
Yeah.
So good. I was so good at the fucking Chansey game where you have to catch the eggs.
Yeah, that was awesome too.
I was
yeah.
a master at that game.
They should just release
The Clefairy
Pokemon
game.
mini games on iOS. I would play them. I would totally buy that. That'd be so much fun. Or the button mashing Pikachu, or the one where you have to circle the horrendously painful N64 joystick that didn't have a rubber pad at the end, and that your finger became raw and bloody from moving it too much.
Oh, hashtag Mario Party 1 lawsuit.
Yeah, fuck that game.
Do you know that was
Seriously.
actually a thing?
Was it really?
Yes, kids were literally like getting I got one once, massive blisters on their palms because they would be spinning the control stick for a couple of the games.
Yep.
And parents were like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
I gotta win, Mom. Gotta win.
Why did they never put rubber pads on those? They didn't even come out with like one of the controller lines. Like they didn't even come out with like controller lines later on that had rubber pads on them. And you know what? Like the GameCube one wasn't that much better. Like I seem to remember that rubber pad on the GameCube joystick could tear off so easily. Like, and then you would have an extremely uncomfortable and sharp plastic implement that you would cut your finger on to try to play with, which I did.
I don't remember the GameCube
I have a
having.
GameCube controller right here, and I've had this for years. It's still fine. So
Does it have a rubber pad on it?
It does, yeah.
well, what do you guys mean by rubber pad?
On the joystick, on the head of the joystick.
Yeah, on the
Yeah,
glands.
I guess. I mean, this has always been there, so yeah.
Is it rubber?
It has the. Yeah, it's
Huh.
rubber.
I
think
I don't remember
the
that.
majority of it is rubber,
Interesting.
actually. Like even the parts of it.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I never tore anything off of my GameCube controller. I never even was aware of
and-
something that could tear off.
In fairness, it only
You guys
happened
know
to
I've been
one
doing
of mine.
spin
and it
attacks.
was- yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing spin attacks or speed runs lately too, so I've been spinning the shit out of that
Yeah.
thing. So
You haven't torn off any skin yet?
No, fortunately, no.
Natural Selection 2 is 50% off right now. You guys should go buy that.
Go buy now, sell everything.
It's a really
No.
good game. Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard they had an update for it as well. I haven't played that game in so long. It was too deep for me.
Yeah.
Too much.
It's like
too much
it's like a
mastery
Dota.
required. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's such a good game though. Oh man, it's really good.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if it looks interesting at all to you, if you've been thinking about it, go buy it. Also, go buy Mark of the Ninja, 67% off. Apparently, what is going on
Yeah.
with these sales? I'm not
Everything.
aware of.
You get a game. You get a game. Everybody gets a game.
That is also, keep in mind, if you're watching the live stream, we're not sure if those sales will still
Yeah.
exist if you're watching this on YouTube. So
Yeah, sorry.
too
about that.
bad.
Hopefully, people know that this is not temporally locked to when you might be watching it.
Unless you're watching it in the past, in which case prepare.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Time Lord, then you could get sales for whenever. I suppose you could always
Yeah.
just go back in time and. But I don't know
Well,
why going
what-
back in time
what
would
you
get
should-
you. Yeah.
What you should probably do is go forward in time 10 years and pick all of these games up in like a $2 bundle.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, that'd be.
Well, if we're gonna go that far, you might as well go far, like 200 years to when games are awesome and virtual reality and cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah,
know.
true.
In 200
world is
years, I
dead,
wonder if
either
you'll
or.
still be able to get N64 ROMs.
Probably not.
That's actually a really interesting question.
I don't think you're
Yeah.
going to be able
Like,
to
what-
access like anything that we have on the internet right now. Like unless you have it on like one of the little like Zoolander cell phones or something with that has the entirety of the internet as we know it right now contained therein,
Yeah.
and you just plug
'Cause
that
I mean,
into your
like,
eyeball.
storage-
It makes you wonder whether or not it's going to be relevant. If it's not relevant, no one's going to keep them. No one's going to
Yeah.
do anything with them, and they're just going to fall away.
Yeah, well, if video games keep going, then like N64 games are going to be similar to, like classic literature almost. Like just the very not even similar to classic literature. Just like cave paintings almost. Just the
Yeah.
first. They'll be like museum worthy if video games are
Right.
still
Well,
going in 200 years.
What they could have is they could just have still like if Nintendo keeps all this stuff, I imagine they do. They'd probably just have all the source code for all those games, and maybe you could just plug it into a program that'll just make it run. Because that's actually what happened with the original Prince of Persia. Is like that was totally lost. I was reading the interview with the guy who made the original Prince of Persia. Like that was totally lost to time, and then he found like the floppy disks that contained all the source code to the original Prince of Persia.
Oh man.
And he in his mom's attic or something, and I think he remastered it and remade it. So
That's really cool.
yeah, yep, pretty darn cool.
Any other questions you guys see that? I mean, a lot of these questions are.
Yeah.
It's silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I want to address the question about Dungeons and Dragons podcast. I mentioned really briefly when we were talking privately that I am kind of interested, not so much Dungeons and Dragons because God, they'll take too long, but I was kind of interested in doing kind of like a really light game of like I don't know, Cthulhu Dark or something like that for anyone who's interested. And if that happens, I might try to live stream it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, whatever it is, I don't think it would be something we would call a podcast, but
No.
I could definitely see us streaming, playing role-playing games at some point.
That'd be
cool.
cool.
So we'll
Yeah.
probably have to talk about it more to see if people are interested, see whether I'm too busy or not to do it. But that's something that may or may not happen.
Yeah. Green, what do you think about the Binding of Isaac for iOS or Android? If they can make the controls work, I'm on board. Sounds cool. I probably wouldn't play it because I've played enough Isaac already, but I'm all for seeing Isaac on as many platforms as it can reasonably get onto. I think that's good. I want Edmund to make more money. DS.
Imagine
for
if
sure.
it got a...
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edmund says that DS is his ideal platform for Isaac. He thinks that's the best place for it to be.
Yeah, he showed mock-ups of what it would be, where the whole top screen, you wouldn't even have any indicators. It would just be the game, and on the bottom you'd have your bombs and your map and all that stuff.
Yep.
It'd be so much cooler. Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be great.
Be fantastic. I would happily love to see that.
Awesome.
Here's a question: Green's a little quiet. Period. And this is important. The next word is lowercase. Somewhere feel me in.
Let someone feel me in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Someone feel me in.
Huh. I guess somebody
I'm
is
looking-
asking people to transcribe every word I say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do like how in the midst of pasted questions there's a big caps sentence that says "Don't copy and paste this."
Yeah.
Dennis."
I didn't see.
I had to do it.
Ah,
I had to do it.
Is Dennis
Good.
bisexual?
Yes.
You had to think about it.
seconds
He
for
was
that,
he took a second to look up a picture of a dick and look at it. Yeah, I could do that.
it's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Just take it all analytically. I wouldn't.
So here's a question: Nintendo Entertainment System or Xbox 360? I don't. Seems like a very vague and ambiguous question. If you're asking me if I only had one of those things on a desert island to play for 100 years, I would say, why don't you give me a TV as well and a power source? Because otherwise I could play neither. Then I'd have to ask, which one would make for a better fire? I'd have to say probably the Xbox 360. It's most likely larger.
It's quite a bit bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
Those things light on fire
The
anyway.
cartridges, though. Depends on how many cartridges you're allowed to take.
That's a
Oh,
good
that's
point.
good-
Yeah,
good thought.
definitely.
Because you
Oh,
can't really
yeah.
burn discs at all.
Mhm. Yeah.
But you could have a rousing game of frisbee.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point. Yeah,
I mean, you could
entertainment
probably
is
do that
very
with the
important.
NES.
It would
I
hurt
don't think you
more.
can play frisbee by yourself though.
Yeah.
on a
Yeah,
desert island.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Yeah.
So we just shit
what
on
the
that
fuck
question.
Are we talking about? What is happening?
Yeah,
right
I
now?
don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. What are we playing? Tetris?
If you all were teenagers again, what would you do?
Masturbate.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably do the exact same thing I did when I was a teenager.
Yep.
Masturbate.
Yeah, probably.
Play a lot of RuneScape.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably play cooler video games now.
Yeah. I mean,
Actually, yeah, totally true.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd do better in school. If I were a little
Yep.
kid again.
That's a good response.
Do my
I probably
homework.
would still masturbate. Yeah. Yeah, I guess probably try to get into college for free would be pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah. That would.
It wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that hard.
No.
You
it
know, you
wouldn't.
just have to man up and do it. Just
Yeah.
be like, you know what? The social life is fun, but going to Harvard for free leads to way more fun in the future. So that's my advice if you're a teenager. Suck it up. Do your homework. I know it's bullshit and boring, and you're not learning anything. It doesn't matter. If you get good grades, you go to college for free, and you don't want to be in debt for like $120,000.
No.
Because that's shitty.
Welcome back to Life Lessons with
Yeah,
Rob.
life lessons. You
Also,
know,
move to another country.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Except England. Don't do
The
that.
last time I gave advice on the YouTube channel, I went for 15 minutes straight, so I'm not going to say anything now.
You're a great person. You matter.
Spyro says even with great grades, you still have to pay for college. Depends on the college and the scholarships you apply for, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, well, I mean, like
But
Harvard.
at the very least, you'll pay a lot less. Pay a
Yeah,
lot less.
like Harvard. If you get into Harvard, they'll like if you can't afford the scholarship. I mean, if you can't afford to go to Harvard,
Tuition.
they'll basically pay for it. Yeah, I was reading about it on their website. It's like yeah. Well, I mean, if you get in, well, you know, if you literally cannot pay for it, then yeah, you don't have to take loans or anything. We'll just give it to you pro bono, which is pretty nice of them to do, I'd have to say.
Okay.
What do you think about the new game Blizzard is supposed to be announcing at PAX East?
Have they announced it yet?
Well, no, PAX East hasn't happened yet.
No, but I mean, like, we don't even know what the game is?
Yeah, no.
Nope.
Well, I think we can all extrapolate from there how we feel about it.
I think it's going to be awful.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Fuck
the worst
Blizzard.
Gonna
game.
be awful.
I think it could be awesome. I don't know.
I think it's going to be
Blizzard,
neutral.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I think it
Very
shall be
interesting.
left.
we should put money on this, and then when they announce it, yeah.
It'll be anywhere between awful and really good. That's kind of my general opinion. Is it's going to be one of those in between there.
Yeah.
It'll be a game.
Yeah, I think we can definitely put money on it being a game.
Watch. They're going
Actually,
to be also
we-
making a movie.
Here's the thing. Yeah, we can't put money on them it being a game actually, because there's the World of Warcraft movie, and and they hinted at a StarCraft movie at the Heart of the Swarm announcement thing, so we can't be sure.
Yeah. I bet it's not going to be a game.
Ah, interesting.
Well then,
Yeah, well.
it's been a rousing question and answer
Yeah.
section.
Yeah.
We are at an hour and 51 minutes, so I think this has been a pretty good-sized podcast. Does anybody have any final words or any questions that really caught their fancy before we take off?
Yes. I have a final word. Boobs.
Okay.
That's
Good.
what I was gonna say. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I agree.
Yeah.
Boobs.
I think
Yeah,
we can
got
all
it out of the
get
way.
in on that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Get on in.
Green,
that.
do you
Yeah,
even
girl.
read this? No.
Nope.
he was just guessing that someone said that at that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm psychic.
Yeah.
But we don't know if someone did.
Yeah.
So
So, anyway, thank you guys for watching the We Need to Go Deeper podcast. Do you guys want to plug some channels, starting with Alpaca Patrol and going in alphabetical order from there?
Yes. I am Alpaca Patrol, so that's youtube.com/Alpaca Patrol. You guys know who I am. You can also follow me on Twitter at Alpaca Patrol or twitter.com/Alpaca Patrol. I don't know how Twitter works. Can you type in the @Alpaca Patrol, or do you just type in Alpaca Patrol? I have no idea, but you can follow me in those two places. On YouTube, I'm doing Twilight Princess, Legend of Zelda Let's Play along with Don't Starve and FTL Checkout series where I look at indie games, and of course Isaac, because we all do Isaac, basically.
Yeah.
all of the Isaac.
It's the glue that
Well,
binds us together. Also, I
true.
like how Rob
That
is apparently
binds.
my grandmother. Like, I don't know how...
It's a pun.
What?
What?
It binds. It's a pun.
Yes. It's a pun.
I get really excited.
But yeah, I like how Rob is apparently my grandmother. Like, how does this Twitter work? Do you put the @ symbol? Or...
I have no idea.
Yes,
Like,
you put the @ symbol.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, they say, like, you know, you could follow me at Bill Boobs, right? And then, like, but when you go to Twitter, you're not typing, like, twitter.com @Bill Boobs, and you don't, and if you're gonna go and search, you can just search Bill Boobs. You don't have to search the @Bill Boobs.
Stop saying Bill Boobs.
He's the best person to follow on Twitter.
Is that a real person?
I have no idea. Yes.
Okay.
It probably will be soon.
I have no idea. Yes.
In
Thank you for all the
moments it will be.
the new Twitter followers, Bill Boobs. or sorry, you're welcome. Did I say you're welcome or thank you? I don't know. I'm so tired, man.
Oh, yes.
Your thank you, welcome.
Bill Boobs is actually Billy Ray Rothery.
Good. All right.
Yep.
Really? It's
Well,
actually a
Friend
Twitter.
of the channel, Billy Ray Rothery.
Everyone go follow @Bill Boobs. Billy
Yeah.
Ray Rothery.
And ask him about
One,
alpacas.
one tweet, just one tweet, November 10th of 2010. Spain, I'll miss you. Heart England.
He's England. Okay.
That's it.
All right. So he's
It's
Prince
England.
William. He's Prince William. We know that now.
No, he's
Yes.
just England.
He's just England.
Just all of England.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, so that's my channel.
How about you, Austin?
Oh, well, I've been more primarily focused on Twitch right now, so if you want to see me, I stream every night at 7 o'clock Central Time at twitch.tv/lastgraywolf with underscores in between the words. There's a link in the stream chat, but for those of you watching on YouTube, I'm sure Green will be nice and link it in the description for you.
Probably won't.
But he won't do it, no. More rainbows. But you can go there, and I stream every night at 7 o'clock Central and after the podcast, which we'll probably be doing, unless you guys want to do something else, but otherwise I will be streaming about within 5 minutes after we end the stream here. So, yeah, come join me there. I stream speedruns and sometimes play other games, but mostly speedruns right now because they're fun to watch and they're competitive and all sorts of fun. So, come check me out there. Boobs.
Okay. Boobs. Okay.
All right,
All right.
yeah.
You find Zen at boobs.
Yeah, fine. Zen at Boobs. That's my. Somebody
Fine,
was
Boobs
asking
at
me
Boobs.
about if I chosen the new username. Well, anyway, my channel is YouTube / whatever Zen and Cyrene, and
With the whatever.
and I'm excited because I'm finally starting to play a new game. I'm playing Kentucky Route Zero, which is something which I've only managed to play 20 minutes of it so far because I'm so damn busy. But it seems really intriguing. I'm really digging it. Really love the atmosphere, the writing, everything about it. So hopefully you guys can come along for that journey. And then the Binding of Isaac and Wagon Adventure and everything else as usual.
Yeah, that's good. Somebody linked your channel in the
Zen
comments.
something, huh?
YouTube.com/Zen something. Oh, good. Rob's gone. Perfect timing.
Well, he
Yeah,
already,
you already
said
said goodbye,
so.
so it works. Right, and what about you, Dennis? The silent
yeah,
one, the muted one.
My name is Dennis, and I'm currently replacing Dancing Cam, who does things on YouTube. And I'm not. Yes. Yes.
I'm not. Yes.
He's not yes.
I believe
too am not
we
yes.
can all agree. Yes, we've agreed. Okay, good.
Yeah, Dennis is a Russian guy.
Wow.
He plays Dota with us sometimes. He has a channel, definitely Dennis, at YouTube, where he makes no videos.
It's stoic. Wait, Midge, you're the one responsible for the coffee maker?
What?
Is Midgeable the person behind Northern Lions Coffee Maker?
Yes.
God.
Actually, I can confirm that.
That's pretty funny.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. I made Northern Lions Indifference
You
earlier
did?
today. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's the best. Oh, that's the best one yet.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, that's everybody. Also, make sure to follow Currently Dancing Cam. He's been doing mostly Twitch actually lately, so check him out on twitch.tv/Currently Dancing Cam. Also, youtube.cam. Never mind. It's the same one, but on youtube.cam. Yeah, he has his own domain, or not domain, but like directory or whatever that is. Anyway, I forgot how to talk. I'm really tired. I'm gonna end the podcast. See you guys later.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.